second piece is titled Coincidence. And I think it shows some of the emotional dissonance that active duty soldiers face. In this case, we have a young female soldier who generally works in the dining hall cooking, and she's suddenly asked to work in the morgue. Coincidence. I don't remember the day, month, time, or even his name. It was about halfway through my deployment to Iraq. I had just been switched to night shift in the DFAC dining facility when I got the call. I was needed because of President Bush's surge. I had heard stories from other girls. Some passed out, others vomited, but most cried and just refused to do the job. I had said no to being placed among their ranks once already. It wasn't mandatory or anything, just a new skill and a new experience. I didn't understand the big deal. I felt excited and a little nervous the first time. They said the smell would be horrible, but overall I thought I was ready, and I was. Being ready isn't what I needed to worry about. It's how to deal with the events afterward. He is white, maybe 20, medium height, gray eyes the color of a rainy sky. His BDU's, battle dress uniform, looks like they've been rolled in dirt. And the body odor, well, it's bad. But who wouldn't be dirty and wrinkled after such a long flight in a C-130, and Baghdad isn't even his last stop. A few days earlier, he had come through the line in the DFAC. I was serving lasagna. It was a Friday night. I looked up through the cloud of food steam and kidded around with him a little bit, just for fun. He said he was leaving that night for a FOB, a forward operating base. Then he smiled, said thanks when I swooned a pile of dinner onto his plate and kept moving. Second time I see him, he lies on this table, a big chunk of his leg missing and a flimsy piece of bloody meat holding his calf and thigh together. The explosion burned all the hair and skin off his skull, which is the whitest white I have ever seen. The room has a metallic smell so strong I can taste it. I keep looking into his left eye. The right was burned along with the right side of his face. It feels like he is looking at me too. The moment he realized he was not going to make it, frozen in a flat, gray stare. Regret at life ending so soon. Somebody in the room said his Humvee was rocketed. He is heavy. I shift his body by putting one arm under his waist and the other over his stomach and under the hip on his right side. I remove his keys and Gerber. That's it. I drop it all into a small cardboard box with the soldier's name already written in Mark's lot across the top. We bag, tag, and put him in a casket. Then the flag is carefully draped over the rounded top. We carry him to the freezer. I wash up, change my scrubs into my uniform, change from scrubs into uniform, and drive back to the DFAC. It is dark out, the kind of black that makes me want to curl up with a sheet over my head and a flashlight. I am thinking of all the things that should happen. Loss of appetite, nightmares, anxiety, the usual female stuff. As soon as I hit the DFAC, I eat because I had missed dinner. I have pollock, which is dry, steamed rice, and bread hot from the oven, which I spread thick with butter. I eat like I have never seen food before. My friends and I laugh, joke around, and watch movies until time to serve the next meal. I am so proud of myself. I haven't cried, passed out, or vomited like the other girls. I have made it through the night. For the rest of the deployment, I stop harassing the soldiers who come through the DFAC. In fact, I I don't really see them anymore. They don't exist. I go to the morgue when called in, and when I shut the door behind me, I forget everything. When we closed the casket, it was supposed to have been the last time I would see him. I had never watched the news before my deployment, and when I got back to the States, I avoided CNN like a doe running for her life when she spots a predator. After I had been home a few months, I met another soldier, his eyes gray like the one on that morgue table. I tried to avoid him, but he was a good friend of a friend, which made it impossible. That's when it started. That one gray eye looking back at me, the flecks in it clear, as if I had last stared into them this morning. Why have I died so young, it would ask. I felt guilty. I was afraid of who I might be hurting by my depression. I began avoiding my friends, family, and coworkers. The world was closing in on me. I had everything except a reason to be. I finally made it to the chaplain's office where I cried like the other girls. I started going to church and little by little became my old self. Life is hard, downright horrible at times, but it's better to be here than to subtract yourself from the equation. Thank you.